I never had any problems with anyone in high school. Like I would just kind of stay to myself, like because I feel like a lot of my friends, actually, I think one of my friends and me had like this big problem once where so this guy did a lot of heroin and he would always like shoot up in the bathroom. And he wanted to shoot up with me, and like it was this big peer pressure thing. Like I don't think I've ever been peer pressured more to do heroin with this guy in the fucking bathroom in school. And
Jesus
he really
Christ.
yeah, I know. Well, it was just like the friend group I was with. I was with
How
like
was it?
uh no, I didn't do it.
You liar!
So
You totally were thinking it over. Like how was it?
I didn't do it. No, I didn't do it.
Good. Good job
But
for not doing it. If
I
you
just
didn't do it.
okay, I've done coke before, but I've never done heroin before. Like he no, but he really wanted to do heroin. I decided not to do it. And I'm actually very happy I did because that guy has OD'd multiple times since high school, and we think he's gonna like die soon or something. We're like kind of scared for him right now, and his family's like. And the worst part was this guy was doing heroin all the time.
Your mic went out again.
Lost you.
It ended with this guy was doing heroin all the time.
Hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I can
so-
hear you
so
now. So,
His parents were police officers. Actually, I think his father was a CO. And he would do heroin all the time. He would OD all the time. So me and my friends, we decided, all right, fuck it. We're gonna actually. Well, I guess it was one of my this other friend who was a little bit nerdy, and he actually decided to, I guess, write a whole letter out, like type a whole letter out to his parents, telling his parents that he's doing heroin all the time in school. So my friend said, fuck it. I'll pay you $20 to put this in his mailbox the next day at school. So, when the bus, because all my friends, we got off at the same bus stop, and we all decided to go to his house. We put the letter in his mailbox, and his mom saw us, and she came out, and she opened up the letter, and she got really angry with us. And the mom still didn't believe that he was doing heroin until he actually OD'd. And it was awful. It was
Jeez.
definitely. Yeah, it was. I had some really bad experience in high school, but I just kind of kept to myself, and I feel like that. I don't know. Like I feel like with my high school, it was like super easy to just keep to yourself and not worry about anyone else. I don't know because I feel like I live in like a suburban white neighborhood or whatever. But yeah, I feel like just keeping yourself in high school is probably the best thing you could do. If there's anyone watching, just don't get in trouble because I feel like if I got suspended or something, my mom would have probably closed down my YouTube channel. Because like whenever I got a bad grade on a test, my mom was like, "You can't upload today," So she definitely was closing down my YouTube channel because I was about to fail high school at the end there. But I went through it. I mean, all of my friends like they all dropped out of high school and stuff for doing YouTube, and I'm so happy I didn't do that.
I've never been peer pressured into doing heroin. Like I don't even know how I would respond if someone was like, "Hey, you want to shoot up?" I'd probably be like,
everyone was doing it.
"No."
It felt like a
No.
normal thing. It felt like just like smoking weed. Like it didn't feel like it was that big a deal. Maybe it's because I was so young and I didn't realize it.
Yeah,
But
man.
it's like everyone was just shooting up in the bathroom. It's like, oh, it's not that.
Where are
big
you
a-
from?
I'm
Michigan?
I'm around Queens. I'm in.
Oh, okay.
I live in New York City. Yeah, and I don't know. It just was a normal thing. It's like everyone
God
just shot
damn.
up in the bathroom.
Yeah, there was no drugs in my high school really. Like you'd hear about weed. I remember you would hear about weed. There's a guy who has some. Yeah. I smelled it once. Like there wasn't this like pervasive drug culture. There certainly wasn't any heroin. There was no heroin or cocaine. Like there was this weed, and there were guys who did pills. And I remember, and there were guys who smoked cigarettes and stuff.
I would love to do. My friend, he also did Xans as well, like Xanax. And honestly, I would have loved to do that during high school because, like, I heard that, like, at the end, you don't remember anything from the rest of the day. And that would have been great because high school was just, like, it was just hell for me. Like, it's just so fucking boring, like, every single class. I would have loved to do Xanax, but I decided to stay away from all that. Yeah, exactly.
That's good. You're in a better place in life for having avoided
Ton of
heroin.
drugs in my high
Exactly.
school.
I'm very happy I
There was-
never did it.
There was weed, there was coke, there were all kinds of pills, ecstasy, Xanax. People would steal whatever painkillers their family had around. Lots of acid, the one they do on the paper.
I've done that
Mushrooms. There were a lot of mushrooms around. The chemistry classes, like they just could not stay stocked with scales because people were always stealing the scales from the science classes. But I didn't do any drugs in high school. I did a lot of dumb shit, but drugs was not one of them.
What about
Yeah,
weed? None of you guys smoke weed in high school?
No, I didn't.
No.
Nope.
Oh,
No,
really?
I remember someone.
law-abiding citizens.
I remember someone pulling out a doobie one night and being like, "Come on, dear, let's get out of here. We don't want to be around those people." Like, and it wasn't. It was a bunch of white guys with the fucking doobie. We thought very little of marijuana at the time. I think
The first time I saw anybody get high, it was more of a thing of like, that's not what I thought that someone who was high would look like. You know, like, as you have this thing of like, oh, they're totally gonna change. It's gonna be a huge thing because they're getting high, and then you're like, huh, either it hasn't kicked in yet or this is very overblown.
I honestly thought it was much different. Like the first time I like smoked weed, I thought that you would feel so much better. I think, I don't know, and it was just it's you don't really feel that much. Like I thought it would be. I thought it would just like take over your life if you smell.
Well, it's because like there's been so much propaganda of like the DARE program and stuff we came up with.
DARE,
like,
for sure.
That stuff, and like they scare you so much about it that like your expectation of how bad those things will be is so high that when you actually see it in real life, you're like, God, now I don't know if I believe anything they're saying.
Any of it.
Why
right?
does it take over some people's lives, right? Because some people get into weed.
It definitely does.
As
Some
a
people.
hobby, a sense of identity. You know, they're coming to school, like this is old school now, but they wear the fucking Rastafarian colors and get dreadlocks and whatever. And it's like this person is so into weed that like their sense of self-worth is wrapped up into being a weed smoker.
Yeah.
I think it's if you don't have like, if you're not already, you know, working really hard at something. Like if I just smoke weed and I didn't have a YouTube channel right now, because like I smoke every day, and like if I didn't have a YouTube channel right now, I honestly feel like I'd be so lazy. I feel like I'd just be sitting around all day and doing nothing. But because I kind of know that, like, you know, I have to upload every day, and I have to, you know, talk to my staff, and I don't know, just do a bunch of shit every day. It's like I just keep my schedule there. I can smoke every night and I'm fine with it. Just don't smoke during the day too. That's probably the worst. If you smoke like in the middle of the day, it kind of fucks up the rest of the day, I feel like.
Yeah, there just wasn't that. There weren't all those drugs to be had in high school, or maybe they weren't being shared with me. Maybe that's what. Maybe everybody had like tons of cocaine
Shut up,
and heroin.
Kyle's coming over.
Kyle's here. Yeah, he's gonna do all our coke. Just no, or he'll rat us out. Whatever they may have thought. But like I never saw any cocaine or even heard of any. Right? Like it just wasn't a thing. Maybe
like,
it wasn't popular.
YouTubers do a lot of cocaine. Like at these YouTube parties, there's a lot of people who do coke. Yeah, and I got peer pressured into doing it. I don't want to tell a story, but basically,
We won't
like,
tell anyone.
I know, right?
What if a similar story happened to someone else? Tell that story.
Yeah. So this other person, okay, his name is Johnny. So he did coke, okay, and the problem with doing coke is it's like after 15 minutes of doing it, you feel like complete shit until you do it again. Like it's either you do it again or you're just gonna feel like shit for the rest of the day. So literally that craving, it's one of the worst things you're ever gonna feel. Like the craving of wanting coke and not actually getting it. It's horrible. It's awful. And I wish I never did it. I really wish I never did it.
How many times
having
did
to
Johnny
take a
do
shit
it?
in traffic and being
Only
stuck?
once.
Only once.
What's up?
Stop.
I said,
Taylor.
is it worse than having to take a shit in standstill traffic where you know you're at least 20 minutes from home and you got a 10-minute fuse? Is it worse than that feeling? I doubt.
It's a different feeling, I think. A much different feeling.
Yeah, one is blind panic and the other is I want some coke.
So what was it like to be on coke though? Was coke like did it give you an energy? You feel like you could
Yeah,
the
dude.
world?
It's like I think it's like one of the only drugs that like feels better than sex. Like it feels so great. But the problem is like it's not like weed. Like weed is so much more. It's like much more gentle. Like I feel like with coke, it's like a much more like you're much more excited and you're happy and you're talking to everyone. Everyone's having a great fucking time until the coke is out, and then everyone hates their lives. And it's like that night I could not go to sleep. I just could not sleep because it's just it keeps you up. Yeah. And you feel fucking awful afterwards. It's only like a 15-30 minute high. I really don't know how high. Like,
you should not quit YouTube and become a cocaine salesman because you're not good at it.
Alcohol makes like people make bad decisions on alcohol, right? It impairs your judgment, and you do dumb shit. You say dumb things. Does coke do that to you?
I don't know, because I could easily. I felt like I was completely in control. I just felt really fucking good. And I don't know, it felt really good. But the problem with coke is it's just like it's just a small high where it's like it's only like 10-15 minutes of you feeling really good, and then it's like afterwards it's like either you snort more coke, or you fucking hate your life for the next day. So I would definitely suggest not doing it. I definitely would suggest not doing heroin, meth. I know, Kyle, you live in Georgia. There's probably a lot of lean down there. Definitely don't do that. But smoking weed's fine. I have no problem with that.
Oh, Lee, that's the Trayvon Martin thing, right?
That's a codeine syrup and like Arizona watermelon.
They don't have any lean around here, but like in
Oh, that
Georgia,
sounds so good.
That's in rap songs.
Kyle, you could probably get a ton, dude. If you live near Atlanta, dude, you probably have so much lean around there, dude. You probably find a dealer like anywhere. I don't know.
I haven't been looking for any lean lately, but I do remember like when I had strep throat, they prescribed me that big bottle of codeine, and man, that is a fun drug. I had this big bottle because I was gonna be away for a week. It was the big cough syrup bottle, like it's opaque and kind of I don't know, a dark color. I don't know what color, kind of a brownish color. Anyway, it tasted good. I think that sometimes pharmacists will add this bitter tasting stuff to prevent people from abusing it, but they were kind enough to me to just make it taste like deliciousness. It's like candy, like simple syrup or something with like maybe cherry or strawberry like liqueur added. I don't fucking know. But it was, I'm just like sipping on this thing, and it's like the tiniest sip, you'll feel it go down your throat and coat your throat in this warm and numbing deliciousness. It tasted so good, it made you feel good, and it numbed away the pain. It was that was amazing. And I just remember like I went through that whole bottle within the course of maybe 6 days or something like that, and I had to get the prescription refilled in like Idaho, which is where I was like traveling at the time. And in Idaho, they got some horse shit laws because they made it taste so bad that I wouldn't even drink it after that. I was like, now it is medicine.
Were you like
from
mixing
being
it
the
with
coolest.
Sprite?
Well, no, it was just like the bad part of a pecan, how repugnant that is. They made my drug taste that way, and I was just like, well, fuck, I'll just power through this. Give me that Robitussin. At least it doesn't taste like ass. Like it was like a chemical taste. It was terrible.
So my mother-in-law's like 2 doors over down the hall, and she's in all sorts of different pain meds, and sometimes she doesn't like one or doesn't react to one or has an issue. So there's a fucking pharmacy over there. Like I could do anything, you name it. Like I think she's got a rack of it over.
Got
like
some Roxy's.
I don't like.
I don't know drugs.
I don't know. Like drugs structured like what your waitress might take away your dishes with. Yeah. Full of drugs, just all kinds of stuff over there. Yeah, just like, but don't come rob us, bad people, because we're home all the time and I'll kill you. But,
and I'm sure you haven't been dabbling.
No, I haven't, but it's crossed my mind, like, of course I mentioned a dozen times, like, yeah, we should get some weed in here to see if she likes that. But it's like, God, I bet she's got a bunch of stuff over there that people would like too. It's,
those are bad people though. Like I don't understand. Like I could never see, even being offered a prescription pill, as a recreational thing. It's like, what does it do? Like, oh, well, it numbs you all over. Don't take too much, or your lungs don't work. Okay, never mind then. Fuck that. Like, what if I react poorly through it? I haven't talked to my doctor about all this. Like, I'm checking the fuck out. I don't want that.
Interesting.
That doesn't sound
I
like
thought prescription drugs were like drugs. Like people like them too.
That's what Big Pharma wants you to think.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
whole opioid crisis that's sweeping the fucking Northeast and the country.
Well, there must be something
general.
good about it if it's sweeping the nation, right? Like good
That's
music,
why heroin
good
is
movies.
That's why heroin's such a big problem right now.
Yeah.
Is because like getting that those pill dependencies are so high, and at some point it's like, well, I can't get these pills. I don't have access to them anymore, and I'm still addicted to opium, and so I'm gonna get heroin. That's super cheap now, and then
So
people die.
cheap.
Yeah,
like every time I
graduate to
hear about heroin, they're like, "Oh yeah, it's like $7 and it'll fuck you up for the next 18 hours." And it's like, "Whoa, are you serious?" So for
That's
like,
too much. Can I pay $3.50 and get half that? I got shit to do.
like, you could do it. You know that you could be like, "I have $3. Give me a $3 bag of fucking heroin," and the guy would be like, "Give him half a bag." It'd be like, and that would be enough to send you into this like pleasurable, numb place where like you feel no pain. Like, God,
what's the
until you go back
Jackson
and
drug?
buying bags.
The Michael Jackson drug is propofol, something close to that.
Is it propanol or propofol?
I think it
Something.
might be Profanol. Anyway, so I don't really do drugs, but I have had surgeries, and they give you that in advance to like calm you down and make you feel better. And prior to a surgery, I am like nervous, right? You know, like I recognize, like, look, Woody, this isn't your job, right? All you need to do is fall asleep, and that guy does all the work. So like, don't get too upset about nothing. But no, I'm nervous, and they put this stuff in your IV, and oh my god. Like, I'm sure it's bad. I mean, it killed Michael Jackson, but good Lord, is it good? Like, I swear, if you told me that I sprained my ACL right now or something and had to have surgery, I'd be like, well, there is one upside.
You know? It for me.
Yeah.
After a while, you start self-harming yourself to get to the propofol. Dude, they'll need to operate on this.
last time I had surgery, they're like, you know, like, I guess I tried to convince them to give me the help me, Kyle? Propofol. I tried to convince them to give it to me earlier because it doesn't last that long. Usually, the Profanol lasts until like the actual anesthesia puts you under. And I'm like, I bet I could get a double dose, right? Like if they hook me up now, 30 minutes before the surgery, and it lasts 15 minutes at a pop, I could get like a second hookup. Yeah, I mean, like,
and then a third hookup, right?
They're wheeling in. I've chosen for some propofol. Come on,
anesthesiologist.
Give me a $20 bag of propofol. She's like,
best bartenders on earth, right? You know, like they'll get you fucked up. And yeah, I thank God I don't have any access to this stuff because I'm a huge fan.
I remember like when everybody was getting their wisdom teeth taken out. That was when a lot of people had those pills for the first time. And I remember about that age, being like, having a lot of friends be like, man, I got my wisdom teeth taken out and I gave me these pills and I was just on the fucking moon for like 8 hours and I didn't feel anything. And then as soon as it wore off, I was like, oh, my fucking socket or whatever. And I went into the dentist to be like, oh, you know, maybe I'll get this and I'll get the neat story that all the kids at school are telling. And I get there and I get my oral analysis by the dentist with his fucking x-ray. And he comes in and he's like, well, we have got a very lucky young man here. No wisdom teeth. And I was like, what? Does that happen? And he was like, yeah, you just don't have them. Like a small percentage of the population has two, and even smaller just don't have them. You don't have them, so you're good. And I was like, oh, well, fuck. Maybe I'll buy a pill from a guy at school. Like,
I thought